And to me, that denial within our society is no longer tolerable. I can no longer sit back and say nothing because someone might be uncomfortable if I use the term end of life, or someone might not like to think about the idea of death and dying. We can no longer afford in our society to be ashamed or offended by the fact that we are mortal. We have to embrace the reality of our existence because it is finite. It fades. The physical body declines, and we die. We all die eventually.
I remember specifically one woman explaining what happened when her husband was sick. Her husband had a stroke. He was in the hospital for over 3 weeks. And she said that for the first 48 hours, she didn't leave. She stayed right with him. She slept in the room. And when she had her husband's 5 wishes and she was looking at it 2 days on, she saw that in wish 4, he had written a few things. He wrote that he wanted to have pictures of his grandchildren, and he put a note that said he wanted to have his favorite Afghan with him that his wife had made for him. So she said, when I saw that he thought enough about that to ask for it, I knew I had to go home and get it. So she said she felt for the first time that she could go home. She went home. She got those things. And just a poignant message. She said, I've never cared for a dying husband before. I knew I wanted to do it well, but I didn't know what to do.
Each of our own lives, in the lives of ourselves, of course, but in our families' lives, this is really the most important issue we face. Without hyperbole, this is really as core as it is. This is what it means to be human, as you again so eloquently write about, Karen. And it just so happens that collectively, as a generation, this is the most important work we have to do. At the moment in which we're holding the torch for civilization, in a sense, we have to say it matters how we care for people through the end of life.
Funerals are really important. They mark a period. There's a threshold that opens, a gateway that opens when someone dies. And it's the same gateway that opens when someone is born. And for 3 or 4 or 5 days, time stands still, and all the other cares of the world have to be put aside, and we just become present to the truth that someone we love is gone. And funerals use that magic opening to bring healing.
And I remember saying to myself in my conscious mind, okay, listen up. What you believe right now is going to be completely upside down. You're going to be in this denial thing. You're not going to see things clearly. So here's what we're going to do. And I remember saying this to myself. Karen says you must allow grief to change you. And if I do this, and I knew it was true, I'm going to come out of this tunnel. And I want to get out of this tunnel as fast as I can. That's how I'm thinking at the time. So I said, you have permission. You, Jamie, you have permission to feel anything you feel. Anything. You can feel good. You can feel sad. You can feel like having, a crazy one-night stand with a stranger. If that's what you feel, you have permission to deal any way you deal. What you don't have permission to do is to stay in the same place.
I had my first shared death experiences while I was working in Zen Hospice in San Francisco in 2000, 2001, 2002. Now, I had 2 near-death experiences previously, so when I felt and sensed these sensations associated with the near-death experience, for example, the light changed in the room, there were cylinders of light coming down. I heard this hush, like the a buzz or strong hush into the room, like a really strong generator of some sorts. And then I felt the presences come into the room of an individual dying.
And because, doctors just cannot find a way to actually tell the family members that the loved one is going to die, people miss all manner of opportunities to indeed have this incredible time with their loved one as they die.
So that's why this is such an important message for us to speak up about. We need to overcome the denial in our society. We need to open our eyes and tell the truth about our own mortality and face up to it. And in this series, I've gathered together speakers who are out in the world using words like aging, death, and dying. And they're pioneering various movements of their own all across the country to help our society become more open, to change the way we view and treat our beloved elders, our dear neighbors who are sick and declining, our brothers and sisters, and ourselves who are mortal and who will one day die. So each one of these speakers will tell us about the work they're doing to make a difference in the world. And I hope you will listen and be inspired by their passion so that you too can go forward and speak openly and honestly about the subject no one wants to hear about the later years of existence, about the end of life.